Hey there, in this video I'm going to guide you how to use Apache Cordova command line interface or the CLI to build the application, deploy the application, and what other features does the CLI provide us to make our development work so much quickly. Before we start, I assume that you have some prior knowledge on working with command line tools, command line interface I mean, and don't worry if you don't have much knowledge on that. Very little knowledge would be completely fine. Let's start. So what I'm going to do now is I'm gonna create a new project. Open command window here, open up your terminal and write Cordova create demo project or whatever your project name would be. So our project is created now. We can see the demo project folder. Let's go into it. Okay, the CLI has created some files for us, folder and files, so we don't have to go in depth like what these folder mean and what they do. We going to take a look at this in the upcoming videos. So now let's navigate to this folder and let me open my code editor. I'm using the Visual Studio Code here. You can use it because it's a really awesome tool for developers. So before we gonna start developing our app or our project, we need to take some steps before we start that. So what are they? Number one is just navigate over to config.xml. So what does this config.xml mean? So config.xml file is a configuration file for our Cordova project. So we have to make changes over here. The very first change we are going to make is, sorry for the noise. So the very first change we are going to make is to change the ID. Every app which we develop on Cordova or whatever using native tools, Android Studio or Xcode, our project need to have a unique ID. Every app that you see on the Play Store or App Store, whatever app you see, there is a unique ID. So this is my older app which I have developed in the last year. Is the ID is com.amitk.instant prediction. So I cannot use the same ID in my new project, because if I'm gonna use that, while deploying to the Play Store, the Google means it will never get accepted because of the same ID. So what we are writing here is com.amitk.demo project. Sounds good. Okay, version number, let's keep it to 1.0.0 for now. We can change it when we are adding up new features, we are making up changes and deploying them to the store. You can see here my app was never updated, so it's currently on the version 1.0. Now let's change the name. This is the name which you see on your app icon tray, the name of the project or your app name, demo project. We can add space here, no issue at all. Description, let's write our description: demo project for understanding Cordova CLI. That's it, not a big deal. Author, email ID, what's your developer? Let's say I'm developing this. Okay, this was very easy stuff. Now coming to what does this mean. Okay, well, let's start from, this is the default plugin which Cordova does install, and this is our entry path. Like in our Cordova project, the files you gonna interact with or you make changes on, which will be on the www folder. We are going to take a look on that in our later videos. So for now, this is access origin. What does it mean? It has allowed the application to access everything inside the local folder. Now the next step is, the very next line here is the allow intent href equals to https https. So what does these mean? These line means is allow your application to load any page or use any API from an internet. Let's say I'm just adding a link. When I open my app, I just click on a button which is linked to my Facebook profile, or you can say on my website. It will go over there. Now next line is tell. What does it mean? If I am adding a number on my app, let's say I have added a section which is just a contact, and I have added my number. When I tap on this, it will automatically open the phone dialer and insert my mobile number on it, and just have to press the call button. So basically it interacts with the Android, your native system. Same goes for SMS. It will open up the messaging app, and just I have to type the message and just hit the send button. As same goes to mail too. This is an email. Geo is probably the location related. Now here is platform independent settings, which is currently very less now, but as we go further in our video series, we are going to add plugins. We are making lot of stuffs, so do stay connected for that. Now what this is specifically to the Android platform. What it means, then when I can link to Play Store apps, for example, let's say I have added a instant prediction link. Let's say this is our sample app, and when I click on this image, it will open this Play Store. Means it will directly open a Play Store. This link I have just to press install on the screen, so it basically open the Play Store on our Android phone. Same goes for iOS. I'm not going to focus on iOS because I don't have any Apple devices at present. Okay, what now? Now we are going to checking the information. What does the Cordova project knows about our project? Let's check that. Cordova info. Basically it has, you can see, basically it has print all our info, the information which we have in the config.xml shown over here. And it is also showing us the Cordova version and the node version which we are using. Okay, let's take further steps now. uh, Currently our project does not have any platform, means it cannot run on Android, iOS, Ubuntu, Windows, BlackBerry, you know, it won't run anywhere. So for that, now we are adding the platform to our Cordova so it can run on the Android platform. Means we are basically adding the platforms now into a project. So if you want to develop the iOS app, like the iPhone app, you must be on a Mac system because it cannot be developed on a Windows machine. That sort of restriction is there. So we are adding the Android platform to our Cordova project so we can run that project in our Android smartphone. Cordova platform add Android. Sorry. Yeah. So our project is now created, means our platform is now added to our Cordova project, creating Cordova project for the Android platform, and now we can see it has added this plugin which we have seen talked about it earlier. And also on the platform folder we can see Android folder is created, and everything related to the Android project is created over here. And we can open this Android folder into our Android Studio if we want to develop or add something natively. Additionally, basically we can add lot of things via Cordova, so we don't have to mess around with our native code. The engine we are using is 6.2.3. Yeah, so I would talk little bit more about the platform here. So if I want to remove the platform, or if I want to list, so if I want to list the platform, what kind of platform I have added for my project, Cordova platform list. What it does, it will show up the installed platforms into our project, which is an Android, and it's a part of 6.2.3 is a Cordova Android, like, and whatever available platforms are BlackBerry deprecated, means it's no longer in, it will be basically it will be removed in the further basically it will get removed in the further editions of Cordova. We can add browser, we can add web OS and Windows. If you notice, we can't see the iOS over here, as as I have talked about it earlier. You need a Mac in order to develop an iOS application. And if I want to remove any platform, let's say I am adding Cordova platform BlackBerry. Let's say we are adding a BlackBerry 10. Sorry. So it is downloading the BlackBerry platform. So the platform is downloaded, and we can see here the platform is added, like platform Android and BlackBerry 10. Now I want to remove this as it is not under my use. Cordova platform remove BlackBerry 10. it has removed the platform. So also updated the package.json. We can see there is only one platform added over here. Okay, what next? So now I want to check whether I can build the Android platform or not. What does it mean? Means you can build or not? Well, it has to relate, like all the prerequisite for building up the Android platform must be installed on your system. So if you have not installed it yet, like Android SDK or Java version, whatever the latest version is, Java Development Kit, so do a watch over my another video, which is the getting started with Cordova, where I have shown all the installation process. So let's check Cordova requirements. It will check whether the project is compatible, it can build, all the dependencies have been installed. It will take just a couple of seconds to show. Yes, as you can see, we have installed the Java JDK, not SDK, sorry, Java Development Kit, Android SDK, Android targets, and Gradle. So if you have not installed Gradle installation will be done by Cordova itself, so you don't have to take worry about this. Now let's process further. So the project you are going to create, we know it will be in the HTML, CSS and JavaScript. How would you access the native functionality? Like if I want to access the camera, for example, how I am going to do that? Or if I want to access backend services or push notification services, how I am going to do that? So in the Cordova there's something called as extension. Extension adds an add-on code to your project, which act as a JavaScript interface to your native components. Let's say I'm not going to sound technically here, I'm not going to be in depth technical over here. What it does mean, if I want to use camera on my Cordova project, let's say we are building a camera app, I am going to install the plugin which I'm going to be using as a JavaScript code on my project, and while we deploy it, it will give me the native functionality of the camera inside my project. Like that's it. Not going in deeper. So that's it. Okay, that's it. So let's add our very first plugin, Cordova plugin, add Cordova plugin / camera. Don't forget to write this save and fetch. What it will does, it will save our plugin name inside the package.json and config. So in case if there is an update for this plugin, we can easily update it without any hassle. That's it. Now what we gonna do is, so here we can see in the readme file the installation process is as simple as that. it has added the navigator dot camera, and we are ready to use it. So in our coming videos we are going to make this example. We are going to make a camera app which capture the pictures. So yeah, now let's go little bit further. Now what I'm going to write is Cordova prepare Android. It is going to prepare, like for example, say I have let's we make a little bit change here. So we have made some changes in our project, and let's prepare our platform. So what basically it does, it does copy all these files into this platform folder, and now we have to compile this. Cordova compile Android. It will make use of everything. Like let's say we have in our project we use the camera app we build. So while so basically what it does, prepare have just copied out our icons, our files to the specific platform, here Android, and then when we have compiled it, what it does, it just is actually compiles your project. It converts your HTML code into the native code. It will add capabilities of camera or whatever plugin you are using, Facebook plugin, push notification, Firebase, whatever it may be. Compile step takes a bit longer. You need to wait around a couple of minutes. Okay, here it is, total build time, and here our APK file which has now compiled. We can just put this file into our phone and just run it or send it to your friend. Yeah. Okay, now you don't have to write Cordova prepare and compile again and again. Use Cordova build Android will prepare the files and it will compile the files. You don't have to write two steps. You have to write Cordova build Android. It was for you, just for your understanding, that how the Cordova build Android works, exactly what it does. First it prepares the files, make a copy them to the platform folder, and finally compile them into the native code. That's it. Okay, now let's go further. If I want to run the Cordova app inside an emulator, or you say you have connected your devices using the USB, you need to write Cordova run Android. I'm not going to run for a while here, but to connect, and make sure you have enabled the USB debugging option on your mobile. And if you want to run it in an emulator, just add emulator over here. It will run the app on the emulator. And if I want to run this on the browser, note on the browser it will just serve me the HTML files. It will not run a native application inside the browser. Means if you are using the plugins application, it won't run. Okay, Cordova serve Cordova server will create a static file server on your machine where you can write just localhost 8000 and it will show up all the platforms. There's also list out our plugins which we have installed, and if you stuck somewhere to close this all you need to press Ctrl C and terminate the batch up. It will get out of its the means basically the server will close down. And if you're stuck anywhere, like what kind of commands I can write here, just type Cordova help. It will list out all the things which you can do. So try it out. Let me know if anything doesn't work for you. Don't forget to subscribe. I will be posting a lot of videos on various technology topics. See you again in the next video.